Steph Curry, Dallas Mavericks, Golden State Warriors, running it back. There's Klay Thompson. Second time back in the Bay as a Mav.
No sailor hats this time.
No sailor hats. It's okay. But you guys, early in the second quarter, it was all about Luka Doncic.
Yeah, he had a huge game. He came out wanting to send a message in this one after that bad cup loss to the Thunder, and he got it done this game.
Plenty of catch and shoot threes. Luka actually had 28 points in the first half. But that's his signature patented, patented step back?
Absolutely.
You know, we haven't been talking about him this much this season, and I think he's, he doesn't like a lot of media attention.
Or maybe he likes it.
But I think he's trying to make a statement.
Under those circumstances.
He's been, since he got back from that wrist injury, he's been turning it up.
But anything you can do, I can do as well. Steph Curry with the three. Warriors down 7, though, going into the fourth quarter. And if we're talking about Luka knocking down shots, he was 6 for 11 from 3 in this matchup. Mavs up 5. It's the emotion here.
Oh.
Wait for it. The ball goes around the rim.
Keep on even looking at it.
I love angry Luka.
45
and haircut Luka.
Yes.
This guy's used to that, Jim.
45, 11, and 13. A beefy triple-double, and Klay is feeling it. He has some fun with the Warriors crowd. Steph, again, fires back. Steph was 7 for 13 from 3. He finished with 26.
Going a little bit more spry after that knee.
It was a Luka and a Klay day. Klay, 7 for 11 from 3. He finished with 29.
7 threes, Chene. I don't think he took a dribble on any of them. Was a vintage Klay.
He knows how to do that in that arena. Mavs win 143-133. Now, the 48 combined made three-pointers are the most in a game in NBA history. That includes a franchise record 27 threes for the Warriors, the most in a loss in NBA history. Here was Steve Kerr trying to make sense of the mind-boggling numbers for his team.
I'm not sure I've ever seen a box score like this. We go 27 for 54 from 3, 39 assists, 10 turnovers, and it felt like we were never really in the game. We cut it to 5 a couple times. Guys kept fighting, but they controlled the entire game on a night where we made 27 threes and didn't turn the ball over. It's the modern NBA. It's a different world. It's a different game.
It's like that Matrix meme, like you're looking at the numbers and the calculations. How did we lose in this circumstance? Let's welcome in Anscape writer David Dennis Jr. to the conversation here. David, I want to start here with this, right? 48 threes made. Now, there have been so much chatter, especially the last few days in the NBA world, whether this is good for the game or not. And analytically, we get it. It makes sense to shoot those threes. But do you think we will continue to see teams fire them off from long distance like this?
Absolutely. If I'm Dallas and I look at how we played last night, the amount of threes that we made, we could beat anybody. Like, making threes and getting hot like that will erase a lot of deficiencies. You feel like you can go into Boston and win if you can make threes like that. And historically, in the league, for the last 10 years since Steph Curry won his first championship, that is the way you win championships unless you have LeBron or Jokic on your team. And teams are more likely to say, hey, I would rather have my shot making as many threes as possible than trying to get one of those generational talents. Now, I understand the consternation about the shots, but I was entertained last night. That was a great game last night. The problem is when you have lesser teams like the Bulls and Hornets who combined for missing 75 threes over the weekend, that's when it becomes a problem. But that's always been an issue in the NBA. I come from the Jordan and Kobe era when everybody thought that they could make ISO, mid-range fadeaways, and they couldn't. So bad shots are always going to be part of the game. It's the fact that when you have good teams making shots and playing like we did last night, that's going to be entertaining and it's going to be your best pathway to a championship.
I'm not just saying this, Chene, because we saw a record for most missed threes and most made threes in a game in the same weekend, because that's what we just saw. I have felt this way for a while, and I don't think I'm alone, that the NBA is out of balance. You're in a better spot when there's more of a balance, where the three-point shot is part of the game, not the entire game. And obviously, the Warriors are a team that has defined this era. You've got Steve Kerr saying, I'm not sure why I've ever seen a game like this. And by the way, it's not bad offense. It's not like it's ugly. There was beautiful basketball being played. Like Steve Kerr said, 39 assists, 4-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. They were moving the ball and generating good shots. But I don't like this trend. I think we're out of balance in the NBA. And by the way, you know who agrees with me? The NBA does. Because last year, Spears, midway through the season, when we were seeing all kinds of huge scoring numbers, which the three-pointer was a part of, they changed the way the game was officiated to make it more defensively physical. And so they, I think, realized that this probably is a little bit out of control.
I think I'm going to be an OG. I think I'm going to be an unk. I'm going to go old school. My favorite new player is Alperen Sengun. Love it. Why? Because he's scoring on the inside, and he's beating people up, and he's getting to the free throw line. And I love watching him in Vegas, man. And that's how the Rockets are winning. They're winning with defense, toughness on the inside. They're not shooting as many threes. Watching Giannis do what he does. Watching Joker when he's in the paint. And then you see Chicago. They're making like second most threes in the NBA, but how many wins they got, right? Like, so that shooting three formula is a do or die for a lot of teams. It's not just, the Mavs and the Warriors trick you to thinking this is a good thing, but I just don't know how the NBA could change it. But I'd like to see a team just be more aggressive, take the ball to the hole more against these teams and see if that could work to their advantage.
Yeah, that strategy to me is really knowing your strengths. The Golden State Warriors changed the game. Steph Curry changed the game because it was based off of their strengths, and then the analytics came. But sometimes you look at these other teams like the Rockets, and they're finding different ways to win. You're always going to be one of my favorites when you mention Alperen Sengun. Thank you. Rightfully so. We're talking about 29 made threes in that game, franchise record. They're trying to get over the 30 made hump. We saw what the Celtics tried to do earlier in the year. Do you know that there is actually a team that has made 30 made threes in a game? Do you know which team that is?
I assume it was an overtime.
No, it was not. It was a blowout.
Oh.
Tennessee Lady Vols this weekend won by 80, and they made 33s in a game. I had to shout out the ladies. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Still going to lose to LSU, though.
Oh, or Stanford. No, we're not going to go there.
I'm thrilled. I mean, I told Dennis today he's kicked my ass on 3 different continents. And that's, so I'm, you can't beat him, join him.
Excited to see him plug in. A guy I can probably play, with in the backcourt. Can handle a lot of ball handling responsibilities when I'm off the court. And gives us another guy that can attack a defense. And on the other side, he loves to compete. And he digs in on the defensive end too. So should be a seamless transition for him. And we'll see how it looks.
We now welcome in the man who broke that trade news over the weekend, Shams Charania. And Shams, are the Warriors finished dealing, or is there another big move coming?
Today, the Warriors remain on the hunt for a star player ahead of the trade deadline to pair with Stephen Curry and Draymond Green. But they're really excited internally to see how this team meshes with the acquisition of Dennis Schroder. He's going to arrive this week. And I'm told the Warriors expect Schroder to start alongside Stephen Curry in the backcourt, being able to play point guard, alleviating the ball handling, playmaking, scoring around Stephen Curry and Draymond Green. That's a major reason why they went out and got him, and a reason why Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and Steve Kerr all advocated for his acquisition. And when you think overall around this trade deadline, on the first day of this trade window, General Manager Mike Dunleavy Jr. goes out and acquires the guy that he's been targeting for the last couple weeks.
That's impressive, especially considering that they want to maximize Steph Curry's prime. Thank you so much, Shams, for joining the show live from Vegas. We'll see you very soon, especially tomorrow with the NBA Cup Finals. But as you all know, as we bring the panel back, Mark, you've covered the Warriors for a very long time. How do you see Dennis Schroder, who is averaging a career year, 18.6 assists a game, helping this Golden State backcourt?
Well, this is a much better player than the guy with the blonde in his hair in Atlanta. I think this is a huge acquisition for the Warriors. They desperately have needed him over the last couple games, somebody to give them some extra scoring, a floor general. It makes their backcourt a little small with him and Steph, but he's coming in today. He'll be guarding Ja Morant on Thursday. He gives them some needed assists, some needed defense. He gives them a lot of needs, a lot of things that they need right now, some spice. His drives to the game, to the hole, tough defender. He is a big pickup for them. Kudos to Dunleavy to filling that Melton hole, and that's the thing they wanted to do, is fill this hole for Melton, and I think they're going to be very patient about getting the next big superstar piece they want.
This is a dream acquisition, and not because he's a superstar player by any stretch, but number one, they really didn't give up any talent here because Melton is out for the year with a torn ACL. Yeah. Brooklyn is trying to lose more, and frankly, Schroder has been so good that they're winning too many games, and so they're
too good for them.
Seriously, they're basically kind of giving him away. They're selling him for some draft picks. So that's one thing. They trade an injured guy for a guy who can help right away. The second thing is, Chiney, they had to really thread a needle here, because with where they are in their salary in the aprons, long story short, they can only do a trade where they take on $500,000 or less in salary. They were extremely fortunate that Schroder only earns $200,000 more than Melton. So this deal actually fit, slipped underneath the apron where they were allowed. They were able to do it without losing a rotation player because Melton was hurt. So no wonder they, at literally the first moment they could trade Melton on December 15th, they had this deal ready to go. They were very, very excited to pull this off.
Yeah, a lot of upside. It helps them with the salary, but more importantly, hopefully there's upside in the standings. They're currently 8th in the West. So, David, how much better are the Warriors with Dennis Schroder?
Yeah, there's all the talk about how Schroder is replacing Melton. Schroeder's really replacing Podziemski, who has been a real disaster for this Warriors team this season, and his minutes have been a net negative. The Warriors really attach their future to this dude. I think Schroder puts him back on the bench and fills up a couple of other needs that this Warriors team has. Namely, when Stephen Curry is not on the court, they are still a bad team. There's a 20-point difference per 100 possessions from when Steph is on the court and when Steph is not on the court. And then also, as we know, that fourth quarter clutch performance from these Warriors team this season has been a disaster. They're coming off of 2 straight games in the last 3 minutes or so where they did not score in each of those games in those last 3 minutes. Schroder can, give them a lot of those clutch buckets and give them some points when Steph is off the court. So this is going to make a huge difference for them going forward.
Yeah.
I'm on fire.